Hello Jeff,
Hi.
Buenas tardes a todos. Estamos con señor Jeff, que es director del programa internacional de New Brunswick, y entonces él mismo nos va a presentar un poquito el programa. Let's switch to English. Jeff, could you present yourself and what's your role on the school district?
Sure. My name is Jeff Holder. I'm the director of the New Brunswick International Student Program. My role is to oversee the general operation of inbound students coming in from countries around the world. And I've been in the role for about 2.5 years. Prior to that, I used to be the principal of two of the largest high schools in New Brunswick for about 15 years before that.
Could you tell us about a brief history of the international program and when it started and over the years how it changed? And
Sure. So the New Brunswick International Program started almost 30 years ago, about 27 years now. It started as a small program to bring students from one country into New Brunswick, and for a short term, only a couple of weeks. And then it grew from that point in time to students that would stay for a full year, and then it started to grow in the early 2000s or mid 2000s, before 2010, into a program that was more countries around the world. And then as we move into 2015, it became a program of about 300 students, and now we've grown into a program of over 800 students.
Wow.
From about 42 different countries.
42 different
Yes.
countries?
Yes.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it's
Wonderful.
big.
In New Brunswick, there are some areas or communities that speak French. Which are these
Sure.
areas?
Well, in New Brunswick, it's a really interesting province because it is Canada's only officially bilingual province. Now, most people think that Canada is both French and English, and it is, but official bilingualism only exists in New Brunswick. And there are certain areas of the province that have more French than others. So the province is generally, from a geographic standpoint, borders the Atlantic Ocean on one side and the United States on the other side. For the most part, the French side of the province is the side that's borders the Atlantic Ocean and runs from roughly the city of Moncton up to the northern section of the province. So about 1/3 of our province would be classified as francophone, and about 2/3 of the province would be classified as anglophone. But there is a lot of mixed bilingualism within the province.
So you would, in these areas, you would hear English and French at the same time?
Yes, and there are certain areas of the province where you would only hear French on a day-to-day basis in the towns and communities that those are in. But for the most part, there's a big mix of French and English. Yes.
Okay. And all the international students that go to New Brunswick, do they go for full English in a program, or do you have a French program as well for students?
Well, that's an interesting question because there's two answers to that. Number one, we represent the English program. So students that are coming to our program are generally coming for that English experience. So there are Anglophone English school districts in the province, and there are Francophone districts in the province. The Francophone school districts are much smaller, but they do have there is access to just French schools. But the English side, the Anglophone side that I come from, actually has a really interesting side because we also offer French immersion. So there is an opportunity to go to school and take the majority of your day in English, but also to have French instruction as well. So if a student is really strong in French, they could potentially take maths or sciences or humanities courses in French during their day as well. So there is a really good mix of abilities for students to either improve their English skills or to also improve their French skills.
What are the main areas where you place international students in the province, or you place them all across New Brunswick?
So we do. So the international program in New Brunswick is a provincial program. So we actually place students in the 4 Anglophone school districts, which take up the entire province. So that means that we have about 45 schools that we place students in. Those schools range in size from 275 students to 2,400 students, depending on the school. So each school and each community is different. But what's interesting is no matter what school the student is placed in, the education system remains the same. So a physics class in a small school or a physics class in a large school will be the same, but we place students all over the province.
And what are the you know, one of the main questions that we get asked by the students is what are the activities or sports or the opportunities outside the schools?
So inside the school system, there is a full range of sports programs and activities beyond sports, whether it be drama, music, or those kind of things that are available. And those would be in the school system, and they would happen from September all the way to June. Sports run in season, so it just depends on when a student is there, but there are all kinds of opportunities for students to participate, and that's part of their program when they come to us, so they can participate in those. There are also opportunities for students to participate outside of the school system in clubs. And depending on the community that they're in, depending on where they're living, there is an opportunity to participate in any type of art, cultural, or sports activity that exists outside the school as well. So in the end, there's no reason not to participate in something because there's going to be something for everyone.
Okay, and would you say that the international students need to be proactive and you know, look for activities, or does the school actually, you know, make announcements and give these opportunities to students?
So schools do a mixture of different things. They always make announcements every day, and that's one thing that I would encourage international students to do, is to listen to those announcements every morning. That will tell them what's coming up, what's going to happen, and those kind of things. Also, most schools are now using social media. So once the student gets to their school and knows what school they're in, then to connect themselves with the social media that goes with that school, that will also keep them updated on activities and events and those kind of things that are going on. But definitely be proactive, because it can be sometimes really easy to miss an announcement for a practice or something when you really want to participate. So listening to those, making sure you're following the YouTube channel or the Instagram account for the school would be really important.
Okay, wonderful. And what could you say to the student and natural parents about about your homestay families?
So we manage our own homestay program. So I think that's number one and key. It is part of our original component of our company when we first started, and we've made sure that we maintain it now. So our host families are selected by homestay coordinators within the community that they live in. So our homestay coordinators, one per school, they know the environment, they know the school, they know the students, they also know the homestays. So all of our homestays are pre-selected. They go through a screening process in order to make sure that they have an appropriate accommodation for the student. So students will always have their own private bedroom. They will always have access to internet. They'll also make sure that they have access to good food and nutritious meals and those kind of things. And we also inspect the homes. We make sure that they are pass a criminal background check and reference checks as well before students are placed there.
What would you say that are the benefits for the international student to join your program?
Well, I think a couple of things really come to mind. Number one, New Brunswick provides a really traditional Canadian experience. It's what people expect when they come to Canada. You're getting a mixture of a rural and an urban environment, so you get to see cities of which are typical of what Canadians live in. You also get that rural feel if you're interested in outdoor activities and doing those kind of things. The other side of this is that we do manage our own homestay program, and we take pride in that. And it is, living in the East Coast of Canada is a very home-like environment. And students feel that the minute they arrive at the airport, because their homestay is going to be there, a member of our program is going to be there, and they will feel that sort of close family feel the whole time.
Okay. And what would you say is the greatest or the awesome thing that has happened since you are in the program?
Probably, I would say the ability to really see a change in our process around how we help students become integrated into New Brunswick. We've really developed a really interesting program called International Citizenship for Understanding, which is a buddy or a peer mentor program, because one of the things that our international students tell us is that they feel sometimes that when they arrive in New Brunswick, they don't have anyone to go to, their own age. They don't have a peer or a mentor or a friend right up front. And we've really developed that program to allow all of our students, when they arrive on the ground, to have that friend there. And I think that's probably the single most important thing in my time as director that we put in place.
For finishing, any advice you would give to the student and the families who are looking for applying to this program?
I would say for New Brunswick, coming to New Brunswick is probably one of, and I know I live there, and I know I can be a little biased in my opinion, but being in New Brunswick is a real experience into itself. And I think being open to those experiences, being open to try something new. You know, if students want to be part of the program, they really should come with an eye to have fun, know that you'll be safe in your homestay. Know that the school system is excellent, so that the academic piece is covered, but really just to come open-minded, have fun, join a club, find friends, and they'll have an amazing experience.
Wonderful. Jeff, thank you very much. I hope we answered all the questions that parents and families might have.
Okay.
And thank you for visiting us.
Thank you.
And I hope you're enjoying your time in Barcelona.
Indeed. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.